Hello again, it's Amanda. Now I'm back to record, I think, 4 tiles. I'm going to try to do 4 tiles using these 4 colors: powder blue, Windsor blue, titanium white, and silver, all from this Windsor & Newton Galeria acrylics. And I mixed them up a couple days ago. They're stored in my little cups, and I'm going to open them up and see if they need any water or anything. I don't think I put any water in these. They're just Floetrol and paint. And I will be back in a minute. So I didn't add any water to these. These are just Floetrol and paint, and they're a little bit thick, but I already have more than what I initially thought I needed, so I'm not going to worry about it. And my paint always thickens up a little bit after it sits in those cups, but my last video my paint was kind of thick, and it turned out to be one of the ones that I like better than a lot of my other videos. So I'm gonna keep on that theme and just go with the thicker paint this time and see how it turns out. I mean, it's thick, but it does run, and sometimes I like it whenever it leaves a little mound. That one's a little bit thinner than the others. I like it when it leaves little mounds. It feels better to me than the water thin paints. So I'm just going to use it like this. Since I'm doing 4 tiles and I don't know how I'm going to edit the videos, I don't know if I'm going to put all 4 of them in one, or if I'm going to do 4 separate videos or 2 videos. I think I'm just going to fill up. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to put my paints in all 4 cups, and I'm going to save this clip, and then I'm going to flip each cup, like each tile individually. The last time I did tiles, I think I poured them across. The last video I did, I think I poured them across. But I like flipping each one individually. So I'm going to separate out my paints right now, and then I will stop the video, and then I will start in with 1 tile and go from there. 1 tile, 2 tiles, 3 tiles, 4, and then see how I want to put the videos together. What I think I'm gonna do I'm gonna layer the cups a little bit differently too, I think. With this cup, I'm going to do silver first and silver last, and white in between my blues. And I'll do this one the same way, with silver first and silver last, and white in between my blues. But I will put the light blue first in one, like the light blue next in one, and the dark blue next in the other one. You'll see what I mean whenever I do it. These 2 are going to be white first and last, and silver in between the colors. They might all have like slightly different amounts of the colors because I'm not really measuring very much. I'm just eyeballing it. I kind of like to wing it like that. So we'll do these 2 the same, like, okay, so we'll do dark blue first in these 2. I should probably measure it out. We want double the amount of dark blue as what we had of the silver, I think. Okay, and then double the amount of dark blue as we had white. I don't know if that's double or not. And then these 2 are going to be light blue, powder blue. We have powder blue and Windsor blue are our blues, and white and silver. Okay, and now, let's see, was that white first or silver first? I was trying to keep them separated. These two are white first. Okay, so then these two will have the white between. I may end up using all my white. I may have, yep, I've used all my white. I may have to mix up more white because those two are supposed to have white on top. I'm just winging it and eyeballing it. I guess next time I need to measure things out a lot better. Okay, so I'm back. I mixed up a little bit more white paint since I ran out, and we will just finish putting a little bit in here. And maybe just a tiny bit more. Okay. And then I forgot to put silicone in. So what I'll do is I'll put 1 drop in the blues for the rest of the blues that I need to put in. Those two had white next, so these two will have silver next. And there, I don't want to use too much because I don't want to have to mix more up like I did with the white. So this will help make each tile a little bit different, so that's cool. And now what's next? Okay, now these two, I think I'm using too much paint. I may have to mix up all of my colors again, to be honest. So why don't I just go ahead and finish filling this up and finish filling this up. I'm gonna have way too much paint, but oh well, what can you do? It's a learning experience for me every single time. So this one gets this blue, and after I use this blue here, I'll have to mix up more for the last cup. Well, I'll need more for this too, probably. I don't even think I stirred with that silicone in there. So who knows what that'll do. So in the theme of doing everything the same, yet a little bit different, we'll do this too. Man, this is not going to turn out very well. This is not going to turn out how I was expecting. But it never does. So it's a learning experience. We'll just see what happens. Okay, now I have to wipe that off. I have to mix up more of these 3 colors. This paint stirs up very well. As after it stirs, it has very nice consistency, and I didn't even add any water to it, and I really like the texture of it. So I'm hoping that these tiles turn out pretty well. Okay, I'm back. I've mixed up a little bit more silver, a little bit more powder blue, and a little bit more Windsor blue. So this one has, I can see that it had Windsor blue in it before, so I will put the powder blue on top. Trying to layer it around the silver, but I don't know how that's going to go. This is very just I'm winging it. I don't even know how else to put it. Okay, so we'll move that. Wipe off the paint off my fingers. Okay, and then this one had the powder blue first, so we'll put the Windsor blue on top. I think I had more of this extra mixed up than I did of the powder blue that I put on the last one, but oh well. Each cup is going to be different, so each tile is going to be slightly different, but it's all the same color, so I'm interested to see how they come out as a set. I like doing that, like using the same paint. Okay, these ones are white on bottom, and okay. I like using the same colors and pouring them differently into each cup so that each painting comes out the same colors but different. I like doing that and seeing how different things make the different, like how doing something differently each time makes it come out a little bit differently. I can't even say what I'm trying to say. I like seeing what minor changes make in the difference overall. I could paint like 50 paintings with the same, well, I could do 50 pours with the same colors just to see how they came out differently depending on how I changed one little thing each time. I find it very interesting. Don't have a lot of white. Maybe I didn't mix up enough extra white, but we're just going to put a little bit on top. This cup has less than some of the other ones, so I'm adding a little bit more to it maybe. Okay. Put some on here and then see if we have any left to put back in that one, because that one has less paint. No, that one will just have less paint. I'm going to end up having a lot of leftover paint that I can scrape up in the end and put in something to save, I think. Because after I get back from vacation, I want to do one. Whoa, I did not mean to stick my stick all the way in there. Oh well. I want to do one painting with all of my leftover paints. I have several different leftover paints in a container, like all in separate containers. And some different paints that I tried mixing with a different pouring medium that was very thin that I didn't like very well. I think I can add a bit of Floetrol to that and thicken it up. But I want to do, my point is, one of these days I want to do one pour with a whole bunch of my leftover paints together and see how it turns out. It might turn out as a big mud pile, but I just want to see. Okay, now I have my paint layered. This one is silver, Windsor blue, white, powder blue, and silver. This one is silver, powder blue, white, Windsor blue, and silver. This one is white, Windsor blue, silver, powder blue, and white. And this one is white, powder blue, silver, Windsor blue, and white. So each tile is going to be a different one. And I'm going to pause the video for now, and I'm going to clip together something from me mixing at the paint and then add it to, I think I might do separate videos for each tile so that the videos aren't too long. And I will be back in just a few minutes. I will set some of the paints off to the side, some of the mix cups. I don't know how long you can let mix cups sit before they kind of meld together. I don't know. That's another thing I guess we're testing out by doing this. So I'm going to move these three over, and whenever I come back I'll start with this one. Hi guys, it's Amanda. I'm back to do my first tile. It's been a few minutes since I poured the paint in the little cups. I don't know if you can see over here. It looks like the paint's already like sinking and mixing, so by the time I get to those it's going to be really interesting. But I just wanted to see if it would work this way by layering them all and then doing each one separately. I think I may try to do 4 separate videos, like 1 video per tile, so they're not too long, but we'll see. In case I skipped all of the mixing up and layering, because that video, that took a really long time. I don't know how much of it I can edit out, if I can shorten it down, or if I'll just skip it altogether. But just in case I skip that, this one is layered with silver, Windsor blue, white, powder blue, and silver. So we're gonna just put the tile on top and flip it over and make a mess. I always make a mess when I flip stuff over. Let it sit for a minute. And I'll take it off and pour it and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and get out an extra little cup so that I can scrape up and save all of my runoff and leftover paints to maybe use them again. I don't know. It's like it's actually coming out of there pretty well. So I'm going to lift the cup and see what we have. Oh wow, that's so pretty. So pretty. I don't even think I need to use that leftover. I may just use this one to pour all my leftovers into. That is so pretty. That silver, I've done silver in some of my other tiles. It turns out so gorgeous. I may not even need to tilt very much. I may just let it sit and see how it goes on its own. My table's not quite level, so I want to watch to make sure it spreads in all directions. Eventually I'll have to tilt to get the corners, but I just kind of want to let it go and see what it does on its own to begin with. That is so pretty. My inspiration for these colors, they're not exact representations of the colors, but they're the closest ones that I have right now. My boyfriend coaches high school baseball, and the team's colors are dark blue and light blue. The white I just used for layering, and the silver I used because I don't have a gray, and they wear like gray baseball pants. I don't know. It's not the truest representation, but that's where I got my idea for the colors. It's spreading pretty well on its own, just doing its own thing. But I'm going to have to go for the corners pretty soon. I wonder if I should torch after it's sat. And I ended up doing, I had to mix up extra paint because I didn't have quite enough. I put a little bit of silicone in the dark blue and the light blue, Windsor blue and the powder blue, for like the second time I used it. And I didn't put any in when I mixed an extra little bit of paint that I needed. So I just put 1 drop in the powder blue and 1 drop in the Windsor blue for my second layer before I even mixed up extra paint. I don't even think I stirred it in, but I'm still getting cells, so that's really cool. I have no water in this paint whatsoever. This paint seemed to mix up to a really nice consistency with just Floetrol and the paint. I think this is the second time I've used this brand of paint. The first time I used it on an 8x8 canvas panel. I'm going to have to pick it up and tilt a little bit now. But I don't want to lose all this gorgeous stuff, but I want to get the corners and the sides because I want the whole tile to be covered. So I'm just going to go this way, I think. I forgot my corner catcher. And now we'll come back. and go this way. I don't know how well the camera picks it up whenever I go this way. I apologize. Trying to get that corner, there we go. And now we'll go back. And go this way, maybe. Just want to kind of get all four corners and then go around and look at where the sides need touched up. I think that's going over the corner. No, I can not quite. I didn't quite get it, but I'll touch it up. And then I can go this way. I'll turn it around to face the camera a little bit better. This is gorgeous. These paints are gorgeous. And the more I tilt, the more cells that pop up from underneath. I'm going to lose all of this silver band right there. That's going to suck. I'm going to lose all that silver band right there. That's going to make me really sad. But this one is going to end up being a lot of Windsor blue. Okay, we got that. Now I'm going to scrape under the sides and turn it around. I don't know if that right there is white paint on that corner or if it's missing paint, so I dabbed it. I'm going to scrape under this side. That right there doesn't have paint, so I'm going to dab that on. Scrape under the side again. There's no paint right there, so we will dab again. And scrape under this side. I'm not sure if this over here is white paint or if it doesn't have paint, so we'll just dab a little bit. Okay. I know I could tilt some more. First of all, I'll take this to set it on while it dries. And then whenever I pick it up to move it, I can move it by picking that up. I think what I'll do is make sure that everything has paint. Some of these spots of white paint on the side are freaking me out, making me think that it doesn't have paint, but it is white paint. There's still a lot of paint running off and coming off underneath. And whenever I swipe, it makes the bottom turn color. I want to torch it and see if I can get anything else to pop up. There's still a lot of paint, so it's going to run off. Popping some air bubbles because it did have bubbles in it where I had to mix up an extra batch of paint. I had enough paint the first time, I just didn't layer it properly. That's why I had to mix up some more. I used too much whenever I was filling my cups. Oh, now I can see some other layers coming through in that cell right there, and I know that that doesn't show up on the camera very well. I'm going to try to zoom in as best I can when I edit this. I think I need to move it farther up here, but I don't want to sit it in that leftover paint. I can zoom in whenever I edit, but I can see multi-layers of color in that right there. Some of these are mostly white, but you can see maybe the powder blue underneath. I think is what that is. Like it's white on, it's like white on the outside but powder blue inside. That's really pretty. That is gorgeous. I love that one. That is probably one of my favorite tiles out of all the tiles I've done so far. and I can see this band of silver over here. That's going to look really pretty when it dries. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to scrape my extra paint in here. Get one of my palette knives and scrape this extra paint off the table and put in here. I'm going to save all of my extra paint from these and either add to, well, we'll get that little booger out of there. There's some kind of a booger off the table in that one. I'm either going to save it with all of my other leftover paints to do a compilation and like a big, I know it's going to end up a muddy mess, a big painting with all of my leftover paints in the end. Or if I think I have enough left to do a fifth tile, I'll do a fifth tile after this. So I'm going to stop this one for here, and at the end I'll go ahead and take some pictures close up of each tile, and I'll put some of the pictures of this at the end of the video. Yeah, there's a lot of paint left in there. Okay guys, here are some pictures that I took when the tile was still wet, and I rotated them in all 4 directions. And then I also have some dry pictures with the white background, and I rotated them in all directions. I just want to say thanks for watching, as always, and please like, subscribe, and share my videos with anyone who you think may be interested. I'm sorry that the layering of the paint took so long at the beginning. I'm not going to add that part into my other videos of these tiles. I think I'm just going to go straight into the tile pours. Again, thanks for watching and have a blessed day. Bye.